What was once the Polk County Courthouse now serves as the Polk County History Center and houses the Historical Museum and Library. The museum serves Polk's community through special events, volunteer opportunities, and educational programs. More details on July events are coming up next on Polk Place. Hi, welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Tina Mann, and joining me in the studio today are Murtis Young, the Historic Preservation Manager at the Polk County History Center.
Hello.
And Jamie Jamison, the Curator of Education and Programming at the History Center.
Hi, Tina.
Welcome. July is going to be an exciting month at the History Center. Why don't you tell us about our star?
Well, you know, the July is going to be hot for history. We are so excited that we are going to be hosting the Smithsonian traveling exhibit, The Way We Worked. And this is a great opportunity to come and visit, learn about the importance of the workforce, the development of the workforce on a national level, but then also, more importantly, what happened in Polk County? What caused people to come to Polk County? What livelihoods developed? What attracted people to Polk County in the early years? Right. People often ask me, so we have a large county, and what drew people here? What did they do? And of course, you know, we're going to learn about these beautiful, beautiful, the pasture lands that were available for grazing cows, and waterways, and then the soil that was just rich and wonderful for developing early agriculture. So it's just a great opportunity to talk about Polk County's early stories and the way not only we worked as a nation, but how Polk County started its work story.
That's excellent. I know it's such a big win for Polk County to have a Smithsonian exhibit here again, and we're really looking forward to it. But what I'm excited to hear about is all the programming that we're going to be doing associated with this.
Yes. So the exhibit is part of the whole picture for this traveling exhibit, and the programming is going to feature activities that would appeal both to young learners as well as what I refer to as lifetime learners. Anyone can be a lifetime learner. Our young learners, the program is called Reading Works, and I want to take a moment just to look at some of that. And Reading Works is going to be a reading/activity program appropriate for kids probably kindergarten through 5th grade. And each Thursday, with one exception, and I'll get to that, but each Thursday in the month of July, we will be looking at a different book and doing a different activity. Some of the books, just my favorite, the first one that we'll kick off with on June 29th is When I Grew Up by Al Yankovic.
Really?
Yes, that Al Yankovic, Weird Al Yankovic. But he has a book that's, kind of in that grain of when I grew up, I'm going to be a chocolate mousse mountain maker. And it's just fun to kind of start talking about that you can be anything when you grow up. And we are actually going to be hosting PGTV on that day for the kids to sit down and talk to Dion from Brain Food about what they want to be when they grow up. And then that will be followed up by a series of books including Biscuit Visits the Doctor, all about our kids that maybe want to grow up to veterinarians. And they'll do some little puppy paintings with dog treats and all that fun stuff, and then Cook a Doodle Doo, about a chicken that is tired of eating chicken feed, and so he makes a strawberry shortcake. And we'll practice decorating cakes afterwards and talking about what a baker does, and a pastry chef, that sort of thing.
How fun.
My favorite is Rosie Revere Engineer, and Rosie Revere comes up with great inventions at night, and she dreams up these interesting contraptions. And so what we're going to do is have a Lego challenge. We've ordered a ton of Legos, and I'm going to have little cards that the kids come up and they pick a card, and they have to complete what's on the card. So it might be make a box, make a bridge, fit all of your Legos into one little space. And as they complete the challenge, we're so fortunate to have a partnership with Legoland that they have given me, and I'm not a Lego collector, so you'll have to excuse me if I pronounce it wrong, but they are special, unique collector's bricks that each of the kids will walk away with at the end of the day, as well as some other goodies that they're sending me for that particular event. After Rosie Revere, we're going to look at Marshall, the courthouse mouse, and Marshall walks around the Supreme Court and learns about how the justice system works. And so what we're going to do is take our students into the old courtroom. I've got a tiny robe for them and a little old powdered wig that they'll be able to climb behind the judge's bench and get a photo. And you'll never know, some of them might be on the wall 20, 30, 40 years from now as judges that served in Polk County. And then we have Brave Girl. Brave Girl is about the shirtwaist makers and the garment industry, and it was about the strike related specifically to the Triangle shirtwaist makers, and then inevitably the fire that happened there. Really interesting. I think sewing is something that most kids probably aren't picking up, you know, oh, I think I'll sew today. But we are going to do a sewing activity. I've ordered those oversized plastic sewing needles and some yarn and some burlap, and so they'll walk away at the end of the day with their own sewn design that could actually go in a 4x6 frame and hang on mom and dad's wall. To round it out, we've got the Bartow Fire Department coming over, and we're reading Curious George and the Firefighters. And the firemen will then give the kids a tour of the fire engine or the ambulance and talk a little bit about some of the safety equipment that they wear while they're working. Then we are going to have a raffle. So each time someone attends one of the Reading Works events, they get a little ticket. So the more times you attend, the better your chances are of winning. And again, Legoland has been so gracious to provide us with some tickets to raffle off for the park. So you read, makes your teachers happy. You come to the History Center and learn some new things about Polk County's history, and you might win an opportunity to go out and visit Legoland in the fall when it's not so hot.
Yes, no kidding. It sounds like a great, you know, way to keep your kids learning over the summer, and a great, I mean, you guys have air conditioning, so it's a great indoor activity for parents who are looking for it.
Yes, and those again are on Thursdays starting June 29th through August the 3rd. And then the last one is on August the 8th, because I guess school, some school maybe kids are starting that they'll be excited to go back to, maybe, yes?
Maybe,
no?
mine probably will.
Yeah, some will be very excited. So make sure that one Tuesday is August 8th. The last one is on a Tuesday, just so that we don't interfere with school starting back up. And then for our adult learners, next month we do have our Lunch and Learn program. And our Lunch and Learn program in July is going to feature Dr. Steve Knoll from the University of Florida. And he's going to look at labor history in Florida and, you know, how technology has changed some of the ways that we do the work that we do, and in some instances how technology has not come along to change the way that we do what we do. You know, grove ladders are kind of interesting because you have some people that are still adamant that there's going to be nothing better designed than that grove ladder that points up at the top. So really, really great presenter, and we're excited to have him.
That's excellent. Some people get very stuck in their ways.
Yes.
They really do. And the book for this month is kind of exciting because we have something attached to it.
There is an amazing story behind the book that we're reading this month. It's entitled Liberty Lady. The author is Pat DeJours, and she actually is writing the story about her parents. And the reason we selected the book, for two reasons. It's a fascinating story, but also it is about careers. Sometimes we plan our career, and sometimes we fall into our careers. So this is a story about work during World War II and the life of this couple who happened to meet in Sweden. Her father, the First Lieutenant Herman Allen, began his career in World War II as a bombardier, and he was actually in flight on Liberty Lady. They were forced into a landing in Sweden, and the story continues. He winds up working for the OSS as in spy operations, in an espionage adventure, and actually meets his future wife, who's also involved in the same type of career. They do amazing work supporting the war effort in their time in Sweden. They come back to the United States, they're married, and they wind up in Bartow. And it's just a really fascinating story about this couple who met during the war in Sweden, working for espionage or working in espionage activities, and then coming back to Bartow. So we're hoping that everybody will come back and hear about this story. The really interesting thing about it is the author said that during the time her parents lived here, they could never talk about those war years.
Right.
So she could write the story now. Her parents are both deceased, and this is going to be an interesting a way for people to come back and meet a couple who had a very interesting work life during the war years in Sweden.
That's excellent. And there's actually a book signing.
There is a book signing. She will have her book with her, and you can purchase your book, and she'll sign it for you during the book signing.
And that's on July 22nd.
Yes, Saturday, July 22nd, from 11 to 1.
Excellent. And I know, what are we featuring for our architectural tour this month?
So our architectural tour this month, when we talk about work and you talk about changes in technology, electricity creeps up in there as a major game changer. So one of the things that we'll take a look at in the historic courthouse is the original electrical wiring that has been rigged for display purposes only, but talk a little bit about the importance of electricity in Bartow in Polk County. Some of you might be surprised to know where Polk County and its cities lie as far as the evolution of electricity in its cities. One of our cities, in fact, was the third city in the entire state to produce its own electrical supply. And then we'll talk about some of the follies with that as well. There were some difference of opinions with the Bartow electrical plant in the city of Bartow for a little while in the late 1800s. So we'll look at that, and I'll point it out so people can get an idea of, it is an older building, but now when we look at electricity, it wasn't that long ago, but it's starting to fall into that historic category that most people have never seen those old electrical boxes.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. They're colorful. That's what's fun to me. Is that they're not as colorful now. You open your junction box.
I know,
and
they
it's
just look like a switch.
Yeah, it's boring. But the old ones, they're pretty as well as functional. So I always love having you on because you're the one who does the tours, and you are the one who looks up the stories and keeps it interesting for people, so that if they wanted to do this every single month, they're going to learn something new.
Yes, ma'am.
So you always do an excellent job, and that's on July 15th this month.
Yep, the third Saturday.
Excellent. And you guys are closed for July 4th?
We will be closed for July 4th, and just want to make sure everybody's out having a great celebration, but remember that we won't be there.
You won't be there on July 4th, but the rest of the month, you do not want to miss out at the History Center. It's going to be a great month. We're going to have that exhibit, all the great activities, and don't miss it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. The museum's collection includes natural and cultural objects related to Polk and the greater Central Florida area that represent our history from pre-Columbian to present-day eras. The artifacts on display at the museum represent individuals, cultural groups, and events significant to the region. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, the History Center is open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information about exhibits and events, you can check them out on the web at polkhistorycenter.org or give them a call at 863-534-4386.